What's up, guys? Pete Nelson, founder of SISU. Today, I'm taking you behind the scenes on the SISU Electrolyte. This has been a long time coming, and it's honestly more surreal than anything because when we started SISU, it was all about just one SKU, and it was the Edwin barrel, our very first sauna. And now as we've continued to develop SISU and the brand, it's been really important that we product development and product dev around the niche of sauna and wellness and performance. And so I'm super excited to go over today the SISU Electrolyte, our brand new product, and take you behind the scenes on what it took for us to get to where we're at in this video today, and excited to see what happens with this product. All right, so first things first, like where did the idea even come from? So as an athlete and growing up, I was always honestly like more so dehydrated than anything because I would notice that my performance would suffer later in basketball games, later in races. I would cramp up and whatnot, and I found myself naturally looking for vehicles and options that like I probably didn't have or that weren't even on the market back then, like 10, 12 years ago. And then eventually I found Element, and Element's a fantastic electrolyte. It's something that I've been using for like the last 6 years, and then I would dabble in some other electrolytes, but I noticed that there was something missing. And when I would do sauna sessions, the sauna sessions, I would feel myself actually craving something sweet, something that had some salt that would make me like replenish and show back up even better after that sauna session. And I also noticed that like my aerobic performance when I was hydrated, and when I would go in hydrated and I would replenish, my recovery times would increase. So naturally, I started thinking about like, man, how cool would it be to have a product that aids in the sauna and also aids in my recovery and my performance. So that led to an advisory call. And on an advisory call with Eric Hinman, who's one of our advisory board members at SISU earlier this year, he was talking about how SISU lacks a subscription or a recurring revenue product. And naturally, this idea of the electrolyte came up because we don't have that one SKU for SISU. It's that has good margin with recurring revenue opportunities that everybody can get their hands on. And so for us, it's always been the business is always hinged off of like those large one-ticket purchases. Rather, like for us now to be able to offer that and for that to continue to be the mainstay for our business, but to then be able to offer up something like this that lets the business continue to grow, but even more so to me, adds value and impact well beyond just sauna. So on that call, Eric was like, hey, you should look into an electrolyte. And naturally, the first thing, just like when we started the business for SISU, it all started off with one call, which then led us to Amish country where we started manufacturing our saunas. It's the same thing with the electrolyte. We ended up making 1 or 2 calls. I got to meet my friend Jace Yannick, who went through an incredible cancer bout and documented the whole thing. His family's in the supplement space, and then that led us to our manufacturer that ended up actually formulating our product. And so the big things going into this, like from my vision, was that we wanted something to be very, very clean, that had high sodium content, that was formulated for sauna use and formulated for performance and wellness. But then also that was manufactured in the United States, just like our saunas are. And I also wanted the labels and the graphics to be on brand for us. It's really important that like, as you're building out a product, that it stays consistent with your vision, because if it doesn't, then it could look completely off brand and your product's not going to sell, and it could even dilute your brand and ruin performance of your other products. So the SISU Electrolyte comes in watermelon flavor and pineapple mango. And when we were first going through and trying to figure out flavors, we had about 5 different flavors that we were looking at, and we did taste tests as a team. I actually got to go to the facility there in New Jersey where we manufacture these, and they got to walk me through the entire process. They were so professional, super well detailed, and like really made the process easy. So that way we were able to have like our attention toward like the main thing, which is Ben sauna. And now I'm excited for this to be another main staple for the brand. And after all the taste testing and manufacturing walkthroughs, we ended up deciding on watermelon and pineapple mango. We were actually thinking about just one flavor, but having 2 different flavors is going to let people be able to experience things long-term and not just be holding to one flavor. All right, so I'm going to bring Bailey into the conversation here. Bailey, I've been with her the last 3 days at her house building a SISU crew cabin, the Drake cold plunge, And we were filming a YouTube video that I'll also link here for you to watch. She's an incredible athlete and businesswoman, but let's get her take on the SISU Electrolyte.
This is a real and honest take of these electrolytes. Pete brought these in 2 days ago and said, hey, why don't you just try this, or just let me know what you think. And now I'm obsessed. The watermelon, the pineapple, mango, I cannot decide what my favorite flavor is. But when I first tried it, I was shocked because I love that it was a natural tasting flavor. It wasn't too much, it wasn't too sweet, but it also had enough flavor, and I just kept coming back for more. I also loved the salt content in it. It's perfect for when you want to work out. I can't wait to have this during my training sessions, and also while you're in the sauna. I was just craving it the other day. It was sitting right here in my eyesight, and I just could not wait to grab the electrolytes. I love them. I love the flavors. I love the profile. And I just keep finding myself coming back for more. Obsessed.
All right, so let's talk about the actual supplement itself. So once we got our flavors locked in, it was time to make sure that the branding around it was true to SISU. So you'll notice that it's the SISU like hunter green that we have. We used our cachet pressed font for the electrolytes. This was about a 2-month process trying to get our labels done right. Shout out to our graphic designers on SISU staff that helped us be able to get this to where it is. There was a lot of iteration on this. We originally went from like a white label with a white tub to green label to a black tub. You'll notice on here that the pineapple mango as well as the watermelon is centered on that bar before it was skewed to the left or the right. We added the stamp on there. I'm not sure if you're able to see it. There you go. And that stamp just says electrolyte dietary supplement with like this really beautiful stamp there. This is a 30 serving product, and then the formulation. So the big value prop that I think that we have here, not only is this a patent pending product, meaning that it's patent pending for sauna use specifically, and what we lose typically in that 30-minute duration in the sauna, but it also is a first to market electrolyte with L-citrulline. So what is L-citrulline? L-citrulline is an amino acid that is an incredible natural nitric oxide, meaning that it is a vasodilator. The thing that's unique about L-citrulline is that it is coming out as widely known as the best cardiovascular amino acid supplement out there, as well as an incredible aerobic performance enhancer. So what that means for me in the sauna is that I could stay in longer. What that means for me as a runner and an athlete is that I'm able to maintain either a lower heart rate or be able to have just a better heart function while I am training. So that L-citrulline to 2 grams is the perfect amount in my opinion. I typically do about 2 servings. I will typically for a sauna session do about, say, 1 scoop I'll drink during and then 1 scoop after, just because I'm a heavy sweater. But all that to say, I think L-citrulline is one of those supplements that you're going to hear more and more about, just because it's a simple and natural way to be able to stave off cardiovascular disease, which is the #1 killer in the United States. Other things on this label that I love. So you'll notice the formulation. So 750 milligrams of sodium, 400 milligrams of potassium, 100 milligrams of calcium, and then 150 milligrams of magnesium. It's the perfect, in my opinion, the perfect blend of electrolyte profile. You'll notice that the flag, the American flag for manufacturing in the United States, and then one of our trademark phrases, the grit over glory logo, obviously a gluten-free supplement. Other things to note here on the electrolyte, what makes this unique. So the amount of calories per serving is 10. There's less than 1 gram of carb inside. There's 50 milligrams of vitamin C, which is 56% of the daily value. Our sodium and the calcium are derived from calcium carbonate, as well as pink Himalayan sea salt, which is a amazing salt. A lot of competitors use iodized salt. Pink Himalayan sea salt is a great bang for your buck. The magnesium is from magnesium amino acid chelate and pink Himalayan sea salt. And then there's also chloride, and the sodium, again, is 750 milligrams. The 750 milligrams is just enough for it to be a good bite. in the flavor, you'll notice that there's salt, but not overpowering like the typical 1 gram of salt supplements out there. The ingredients, when you're looking at the actual ingredients list, it's really one line. So for the pineapple mango, citric acid, natural flavors, you'll notice that there's this rhodioxide A. That is actually a derivative of stevia leaf. So it's stevia leaf extract that we use to sweeten the electrolyte. And then it gets the color from turmeric root and beetroot. So you're not getting colors from dyes or whatnot. It's just very, very clean and holistic. The directions on this that we include are 18 to 24 ounces of water per serving or per scoop. So you're not needing to do multiple scoops for this, just one single scoop of the electrolyte to be able to get the electrolyte profile that you need. The only difference in the flavors between the pineapple mango and the watermelon in terms of ingredients list is that there's no turmeric root for the color in the watermelon. It's just beetroot. And one other thing I really love about this label, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to tell, but there's this little speckle on the outside on the green that on the PDF when we were going through this, it looked really gritty. But then when we saw it in person, it almost looked like sweat actually on this label. And it looks so good. And when you see it in person, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I'm just so pumped with how this turned out, not only from the taste, the smell, how it mixes, the feedback that we're getting, but also just how aesthetically pleasing this is. This is something to where I just keep in my supplement pantry at home, or if I'm on the road, I'll take this entire jar and I just have it with me and I'll throw it into my hydro jug. My hydro jug is a half-gallon hydro jug, and I'll throw 2 scoops in there to make sure like the flavor really hits. But there it is, the SISU Electrolyte. So excited for you guys to get your hands on it. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. I believe that this could be the start for SISU not to become a supplement company. That's not what we are. For us, our whole thing is building grit and community. And what SISU means is perseverance, tenacity, bravery in the face of adversity. And I think that these electrolytes is the first step that we have toward the lifestyle around SISU. And always open to feedback. Let us know what you think, and we'll talk to you soon.